Also, on the back of this, Ultratech cement is low by 5% after they've announced their foray into the wires and cable space. What does this mean for the existing players? How much of an impact can this new player, Ultratech, make into this segment? What's going to be the market share distribution like? Let's understand all this and more from Praveen Sahay, the research analyst at Prabhudas Lilladher Capital, PL Capital. And Praveen, thanks so much for joining us. Good afternoon to you, first of all. Help us understand just that. What's going to be the impact of Ultratech foraying into this wires and cable space? It's a completely new space for them. Maybe the street is not liking this announcement and that's why the stock is seeing cuts of around 4 to 5%. But what does this mean for existing players, and how much do you believe, if not now in a few years' time, can Ultratech eat into the market share of all these existing players?
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Definitely, the entry of Ultratech with a very high capex plan of 1800 odd crore. If I look at the history of the wire and cable companies from 16 to 20, the average capex done by the major five players were in the range of around 500 odd crore, or from 20 to 24, the range is nearly, just a double of that. The way forward, the industry itself, if I look at the average of five players, around 2,600 odd crore they're doing. So with these numbers and Ultratech number, it definitely looking a very high number for the start with, and definitely it will take time for a commissioning of the plant. What they had given for December 26. Maybe by December 26 or some delay in that, but yeah, definitely that will come. Another important area to look at is which segment they are coming in, which they had not highlighted, whether it's a wire or a cable, because the wire entry is somewhere I believe is easier as compared to the cable, because cable requires a further approval of the product and the your plants. It is very tedious or a lengthy process that will take another 2-3 years to ramp up your capacity. So definitely within a high capex planned, which generate around 5,000 to 7,000 odd crore of a revenue. Definitely in the next 3-4 years time frame, they will become a good player or give a competition to the existing listed or unlisted peer set. So that is why the stocks are under pressure, which got re-rated in the last 3 years. Massively re-rating happened in the sector, and the fear of entry of one of the new entrant, that also leading to the de-rating in the sector right now.
Praveen, good afternoon. This is Shrishti also joining in. Definitely the recent foray by Ultratech is making the competitors quite nervous in today's trading session. But Praveen, even the Ultratech investors are not looking that excited with this recent news flow. So given the size of Ultratech and given the cash flow generation, this 1800 crores doesn't seem to be that big a number. Help us with your thoughts on the same, and also what is the expectation on the return ratios, how this recent foray is expected to impact the return ratios for Ultratech?
Yeah. So if I look at 1800 odd crore for Ultratech, definitely it's not looking a very good number on the company point of view. But it's definitely very good capex plan for the wire and cable segment as a whole right now, which is 85,000 odd crore market, where somebody is entering with this kind of a number is treated a big number. And definitely we had a seen in the past for the paint, they had doubled their capex plan. So that fear is also there for the wire and cable companies. Now coming to the return profile, definitely the wire and cable generate a higher return. And if I look at a very bear case scenario where the asset turn would be in the range of around 4 times, or working capital of 90 days, and if they were able to generate even the 7% of a EBIT margin, they can easily make a 14-15% of a ROC, as compared of the cement, which a best case scenario can generate 10-12% of a ROC profile. So for them, I believe it's a better opportunity, better, whether entering in the wire and cable is a better opportunity for them as looking at the cement business. But diversification to the cement from the non, you can say that it's not at all similar to of a cement business. It's required a different distribution influencer network. Definitely, that is something as investor are worried about. As for the Ultratech, I can say, but as an wire company, you require a brand and distribution. Brand is already with the Ultratech. Distribution they need to create, and there is a lot of opportunity area. I can say in the wire and cable, 24% is unorganized. There are a lot of small players are there. So if you look at the wire and cable companies, 54% is a top 6 companies account for. Rest are a lot of regional players are there. So there is a opportunity area, I can say, for them to grow in this segment.
And I also want to get your overall view on the segment. I want to understand that the kind of dip that we've seen today coming in across all of these stocks, anywhere between 5 and 20%, would this make this space more attractive now for a fresh investment if you're talking from an investor point of view? What are you making of this entire sector, also given in mind this consumption boost that we've seen in the budget? How much of that you think could believe to trickle into this segment?
Yeah, this sector got a boost through the infrastructure, demand or the capex the government has done. And in the last 3-4 years, this sector got a re-rated massively from 15 times reached to 40-45 times. So recent, re-rating happened to the sector. And if there is a, some player with coming out with a huge capex plan, and the way forward, they have also background of the other segments like of a jewelry or paints where they had scaled up and somewhere disrupted the market. So that fear is already there, and that is why the correction has happened in the stocks of the existing wire and cable companies. Whether to sustain at the current valuation or to get a re-rated from here, that looks very difficult from my senses actually, because competition always disrupt whether in terms of margin or the volume per year.
Yes, exactly, Praveen. But I wanted to understand that, yes, indeed, with this announcement of Ultratech foraying into the cables and wires, the discussion takes us back through when Ultratech actually forayed into the paint industry. So the cables and wires is actually seeing that paint moment, what we have seen with Birla entering into the paint industry. And after that, what we have seen, Praveen, is that all these stocks, be it Asian Paints, Berger Paints, they all just went into a long gestation period. Do you believe this can happen in the cables and wire industry too with the stocks, and maybe it's a time to revisit your portfolio if you have allocation there?
So there is two things over here. One is what happened in the paint. We can read through for the wire companies, not the cable companies, because cable is not just putting up the capacity and you will generate the revenue. There, the approval process is a very lengthy process. It takes nearly around 3-4 years. And if you look at the existing peers like a Polycab or a KEI, they had reached the size what the Ultratech currently targeting is decade long time, because when I back calculate at the current raw material prices, Polycab reach a 7,000 level of their revenue by FY25, or KEI reached by FY20. So they took a long gestation period to reach certain numbers, and cable is a business where the approval process is too lengthy. So it's not quite similar to what the paint sector has happened. There again the retailing brand is more important, just like of the wire. So my thought is wire will see first disruption if they will, they had not disclosed even though, but if they will enter to wire segment.
Okay. Praveen, appreciate you joining us on the show today, and thanks for speaking with us about your outlook on the cables and wires segment, especially on the back of this news flow of foray of Ultratech Cement into that space.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.